Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. My name is Clark McGehee, and I appreciate you guys joining me for this podcast today. I am the student and co-college pastor at CrossPoint Church from Starkville, Mississippi, and I really do appreciate you guys tuning in to today's episode. Hopefully, you're interested in what we have to say through reading the title, and I want to first start by telling you all that creation sings the praises of God. We see this in Psalm 66, verse 4. It says, "All the earth worships you and sings praises to you. They sing praises to your name." Psalm 19, verse 1 says similarly, "The heavens declare the glory of God, and the sky above proclaims his handiwork." We see in other times that creation is so often mentioned in relation to the Lord. And when we see God, we're reminded of when we see creation, we are reminded of God and his ultimate headship. I saw a video recently of somebody online that was giving 10 points as to why he quote unquote left the Christian faith and became an atheist. He was talking about 10 points of his deconstruction of the Christian faith. One of his points was that he is now, as an atheist, finally able to enjoy nature as it is. He said that when he identified as a Christian, he never was able to appreciate nature fully because instead of appreciating nature, all the Christians around him just told him that he was supposed to appreciate God. I couldn't disagree more with this, really. I think it's a both and scenario. I like art a lot. Photos, paintings, woodworking, leatherworking, all art under the sun, I really find myself to be a fan of. I just like art. I received a gift from an older friend here recently. He gave me a leather bag. It's a computer bag, but for him, it wasn't a computer bag. He's a bit of an older guy. He had just retired, and he said, "I'm not going to use this anymore," and he was moving. So he said, "Here's this leather bag," and I really appreciated it. But the strap on it was broken. So I did a little bit of research and found a leather worker who was in about 2 hours away from Starkville in a little town called New Albany. I drove over there to get this bag fixed, and I walked into his leatherworking shop, and I was amazed at all that I saw. He made these saddles, he made Bible covers, he made so many different things, wallets, sheaths for the knives. He made so many different things, and it was so impressive. But I didn't just say, "Oh, I don't appreciate this work at all. I can only appreciate him because he made it." Instead, it was a both and scenario where I said, "Wow, this work of art, this leather working that you've done is so impressive. But also, you're very impressive for having done this. It's very impressive that you actually put the time and were able to create all these intricate details." And you get my point. The same thing is true for God. We can both love creation. I absolutely love nature. I love hiking. It's one of my favorite hobbies. We can love and think creation is beautiful while also still acknowledging that the Creator is so incredibly omniscient and omnipotent to be able to create such a beautiful work in the world. I want to illustrate this through a example for you all. Here recently, my wife and I took a trip to Wyoming. It was for a 1-year anniversary trip for us. Even though we were really married a year and a half, we got married in December and thought it wasn't going to be quite as fun in Wyoming in December. So we went to Yellowstone in Wyoming, and it's somewhere that we both have always wanted to go. We've always thought that it would be really cool to see Yellowstone, and we currently don't have any children. And from what I've heard, you get a little bit busier when you do have children, so we wanted to go ahead and take this trip now. While on this trip, I learned about the importance of white bark pine cone. And I know that right now to you that means nothing, but hopefully by the end of the episode, you'll understand a little bit more about it and how it points to God. The white bark pine cone maintains more of the ecosystem in Yellowstone than you might imagine. Bears, squirrels, birds, they all survive off of the white bark pine cone. Bears need a lot of calories, and these pine cones carry tons of calories. For how small they are, they carry a ton of calories. When the hibernation season is approaching, the bear needs to get a lot of calories. As I'm sure a lot of you know, bears eat animals, but chasing after animals and killing animals burns a lot of calories. So oftentimes, just one animal is not enough for the bear to survive the hibernation. And more often, they can't provide for all the calories for hibernation just through eating animals. So instead, they turn to the white bark pine cone, which is very calorie dense, So the bears eat the white bark pine cone, and the squirrels also eat them. The squirrels eat the seeds out of the white bark pine cone. They don't eat them whole, but they eat the seeds. However, unlike most pines, the white bark pine cone does not open up and then the seeds are blown in the wind. That's what happens with most pines. That's how the forest grows. When one tree falls, the seeds have flown in the wind and landed other places, so another tree grows. So you're probably asking yourself, or you may not be, how is it that the white bark pine forest grows? When one tree falls, how can another one grow if not for it opening up and the wind taking it? There's one particular bird that actually eats the white bark pine cones, but instead of like squirrels where it hides it away in a tree, they actually take it and they plant it in the ground. And you see, the thing is, they have incredible memory where they go back and eat the seeds that they've planted. They plant thousands a year to go and to put these seeds in the ground, and then they go back to them and they find them because their memory is so great that they go and eat them later when the pine tree is not producing the pine cones. And the thing is, they do have great memory, but they sometimes miss some of the thousands of seeds that they've planted. And that's actually how the forest regrows. Instead of like other pines where the seed is flown through the wind, the particular bird uses those seeds and goes and plants them, and then they grow from that. So the point of sharing this with you, I know I just gave you a lot of history on Yellowstone National Park that maybe you didn't ask for, but the point of sharing all this with you is that for me, this order that an ecosystem depends on, the white bark pine cone, bears, squirrels, birds, and more animals depend on this white bark pine cone. This ecosystem doesn't seem like it came out of nothing, out of some big bang that doesn't have an ordered creator behind it. Instead, the order that we see happening within this ecosystem points to a God who is order himself. And that is why I wanted to share this little piece of wisdom, this piece of biblical wisdom from Yellowstone National Park here today, that creation sings the praises of God. Thanks for listening to today's devotional. I hope that you enjoyed it. And if you did enjoy it, share it with a friend and leave us a good review. Thank you very much.